What's up, everybody? We're coming at you here, bottom of the bill, new episode. Before we get started and all that stuff, we just want to say we got the 100th episode coming out, or we'll be filming it on March 5th at Kingmaker Brewery with Annie Dukes. It's going to be a live podcast where we're going to be doing Q&As from the audience. We're going to be doing giveaways with unpopular opinions. So make sure you're there, March 5th, 2 p.m., Kingmaker Brewery with Annie Dukes. They're going to finish off the night with a set as well. It'll be their album release party. It's going to be awesome. Lots of good stuff happening. We want to shout out our sponsors for that event. We have Kanine Social. We have Kingmaker Brewery, obviously. Mockshop Music Exchange. And we also have Best Bud CBD Store sponsoring as well. So all that stuff is going to be linked in the comments or in the description. And we'll get you guys set up with the tickets and all that good stuff. So make sure you keep up with that. This week's episode, we have SouLo Lyon from the band Be Easy. This is a great episode. It was fun talking shop with him for a little bit. We're talking about different influences coming up. We're talking about just the grind, what he went through coming up as an artist, and then also his new album that he plans on dropping soon. It's going to be a reggae record. And then Be Easy is also working on some new stuff as well, which we're super stoked about. So check out the episode. We hope you guys enjoy it, and thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys later. This is Bottom of the Bill. SouLo Lyon, welcome to the podcast.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man, we don't really know each other that well, but I think you saw one of our things on TikTok, and then we connected at the real-time party, and we were able to, set this up. So I'm glad you're able to do it, man. Thanks for being here.
For sure, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
For real.
So for those who don't know, SouLo plays with the band Be Easy. What's been going on with you guys? You guys staying pretty busy?
Pretty busy for the most part. Pretty busy,
Yeah.
So that's what it is. A lot of work. Still going down. We're in the process of a new album. So
hold on 1 second. I got volume coming out of this TV. My bad.
I thought I heard it. I was like, is that coming out of the thing?
Yeah, I was wondering how I heard myself like that. You gotta say cut.
Yeah, all right. All right, so Be Easy's got a new album coming out you guys are working on?
We're working on getting the songs compiled, yep.
Okay, and what do you think, how do you think you guys are going to release it? You guys trying to do like singles, or you guys going to do like a whole album?
We're trying to get a whole album ready, but I'm pretty sure we'll probably start with a single, I'm sure.
Yeah, and what kind of music? Is it like different than what you guys have done in the past, or kind of? How would you describe like Be Easy's sound as far as like original music goes?
I'd say party dance type vibe.
Yeah.
Our last album we had like a variety of type of different styles on there, but what we are best at and what people are known by is like making people dance, party, get the party going. So funk, reggae type vibe, rock.
Oh yeah. I don't think I've ever heard. I've seen you guys play a bunch, obviously, but like I don't think I've ever heard like one of your albums all the way through. When was the last time you guys released a record?
Oh man, yeah. Funny you should ask. It's been like 2017, bro.
Really? Damn. It's about time for you guys to have you guys been missing the studio experience and creative process like collectively as a band?
Oh yeah. As a band, for sure.
Because you guys do all like your own stuff on the side anyways, right?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, because we got two singers, and he does this. He has some things, some side project that he does for SouLo, and I do too. Definitely I'm into that for sure. I've been doing that before the band, so
Yeah.
yeah.
So, what would you say kind of your musical journey has been from the beginning? When did you start playing? What's kind of been the trajectory from then on?
Started out in church.
Okay.
From church, you know what I'm saying? I was listening to, besides gospel and stuff, R&B and hip hop from the beginning. Hip hop and R&B, and then it went to, later on, rock, and I started branching out to other types of things, rock, metal, country, and stuff.
Okay. And was guitar like your first instrument?
Nah, piano. Piano was
really?
my first real instrument, but I was beating on stuff before the piano.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I say I was a drummer.
How old were you?
Piano?
Yeah, or when you just started beating on shit?
As young as I can remember. If I could find something to beat on, some pencils, pens, and a table, just my knuckles and hands, it was a wrap. So,
Hell yeah.
you know what I mean? Still to this day. But I started playing keys, I think around like when I was 5 or something like that.
Okay.
5, 6.
And do you come from a musical family? Or you have, like,
My sister played keys.
Okay, cool.
But that's it.
Cool. And so you started off in the church, and then when did you kind of start to branch out and go into like different directions? Because you see a lot of guys that come from that church background. Some of them just never leave,
Right.
which
Facts.
has its own thing. And then you got guys that start off there and get the chops and like the ear, and then they take it to different places. And like to me, those are like my favorite musicians. So when do you think that you kind of started to branch out and learn about the different worlds out there?
When I went to middle school. Middle school is kind of like when I first saw electric guitar being played, or an acoustic guitar being played.
Make sure you're talking to that mic.
Oh yeah, my bad.
You're good.
Middle school was when the first time I saw a guitar being played live.
Okay.
Middle school, I see guitar and like acoustic guitar.
Like outside the church?
Now I ain't never really see guitar in the church.
Oh, okay.
When you know what I'm saying, I came from a real backwoods Baptist, Southern Baptist, almost so backwoods that, you know what I'm saying, it was just, sometimes it was just a foot in the hands for the drums, you know what I'm saying?
That's fucking dope though.
But they had a piano.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was dope. Now I think about it, it was dope.
I mean, talk about like a way to make the best of your resources. Like, I think musicians can be pushed to like some very interesting creative spaces when you don't have like everything available to you. So it's cool, especially if you go back and listen to like a lot of that like earlier blues stuff. A lot of it is just like clapping and stomping and then accompanied by a guitar and stuff, So it's cool, I think, to see where people can go creatively when you don't have everything at your disposal.
Sure enough.
Yeah.
That's definitely where it spawned from. Out there in them cotton fields, blues. Yeah, that's where it came from. So I got that direct when I was young. That roots vibe, blues feel. Definitely. Before I started playing guitar.
Before you started playing guitar?
Yeah, but I didn't know it was blues.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And this is like, so this is like middle school, you're saying?
Middle school when I started branching out.
Okay, got you. And what was that experience like? Were you playing with kids from school or?
Yeah, because I went to, you know what I'm saying, a predominantly white school too. So they was listening to all kind of different music that I was interested in knowing, because I didn't want to be left out, really.
Right.
But yeah, they had talent show and stuff, and cats was playing, you know what I'm saying, those cats was playing like really old blues tunes and old rock tunes and classic rock tunes and stuff. I didn't really know nothing about that too much.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
What was kind of like the experience when you were you in band at all, or were you just kind of connecting with people that, because you don't seem to be like a band nerd at all. You know what I mean?
Nah, I wasn't in band, but I was in chorus.
Okay.
I was in chorus because I always sang, so everybody always really wanted me to be in their chorus type thing.
Okay, and how do you think that helped you in playing other instruments? Do you think that it developed your ear at all, or?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely, yeah.
Okay. And what would you say kind of like when you were playing with other people, were you just kind of jamming with people randomly, or were you?
Nah, I was trying to learn the guitar, bro.
Okay.
Like behind people's backs.
Yeah. Just like stealing licks and shit.
Not really stealing licks, just trying to learn the guitar. Wherever I could find a guitar at, like at some of my friends' house, they'll have a guitar lying around somewhere. We'd be at a pool party or something like that.
Yeah.
I'd go sneak off and try to find their guitar and just be trying to play that motherfucker.
Were you like one of the people at the party like that just like played the acoustic guitar and sang songs? And, like,
Nah, I wasn't him.
I've been that guy before. It's weird.
They got you on the commercial now then.
Yeah. Right.
You don't even got to know how to play guitar no more now. What is
I'm
that?
insane, bro. It's fucking wild. What is that? Oh, that's my phone going off.
Nice ringtone. Did you hold that up to the TV and record that song?
Yeah. Oh, it was a law office. That's not fucking good.
No, go ahead, take that.
Sound like some Ohio
Take
players
time,
going
take
on.
time, it's okay.
Let's see your legal troubles on air.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Fucking IRS.
The way
where
he
we
was
at?
so quick to move around, I'm like, what's going? What? Oh, that's my mom.
Yeah. Yeah, right. I was looking to like pass the blame to somebody else.
You can say us, it's fine.
Yeah. Okay, so where were we at? Oh yeah, guys at the party playing acoustic guitar. That wasn't you.
That wasn't me.
Nah.
Nah, I was trying to learn. Although I wasn't there yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't able to do that yet. You know, and shit, when I was coming up too, there was like, who can play Stairway to Heaven the best and who can play, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally.
So I wasn't there yet. I was trying to get there. I was trying to be one of them to compete.
And who were you listening to, or what were you listening to that was kind of inspiring you to practice?
Everybody shoot at that time.
Yeah.
Everybody who's playing a guitar was inspiring. I was listening to Nirvana, so the power chord stuff, because that's what I learned first is, power chords. Nirvana and Clapton, Hendrix. But see, that stuff got a little more complex.
At that time, yeah, it's a little bit more than what somebody can latch onto.
But it still was like one of them things that kids my age was trying to play.
Yeah, totally.
Like Little Wing was one of the songs that everybody was, how to play that, you know what I'm saying? So I got thrown into that, kind of wormhole, rabbit hole.
Yeah, there were a lot of kids. I don't know how old I would assume we're probably around the same age. There's that era where a lot of kids were like, I was like so far behind the ball. I didn't start playing until I was like 14. And even then I wasn't really practicing or anything. But I had friends that were like learning the, Stairway to Heaven guitar solo or like Pink Floyd tunes and Stevie Ray Vaughan and Hendrix stuff. And it always blew my mind how kids at that age were able to kind of get some of that stuff and make it sound like good. And I always tried to play it and I was like, I don't know what the fuck is happening here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I could never get it to sound like the record did. It always just sounded like me trying to copy something. You know what I mean? Did you ever have that problem, or were you able to kind of like?
Because I went and listened to the record.
Right.
And so I just went and listened and tried to make it sound like that as much as possible. I didn't really listen to how anybody else was doing it.
No, I mean, I listened to the record too. I wasn't like only listening to kids in high school transcribe Stairway to Heaven solos. I was listening to the record too.
Okay, so what you mean?
Yeah, but I was just like one of those, like for me, I was never able to like cop that feel. I don't know. It was always such a foreign concept to me. Probably because I didn't spend the time. I just was getting high and doing dumb shit and just practice guitar in my spare time.
Well, that's probably one of those things to developing that ear too.
Right.
So if I know I wanted it, I knew how to emulate the sounds and stuff, too, by singing. If I knew if I didn't sound like something, I needed to work on that.
Right. I guess that makes sense because you had, I guess, like the discipline of being in choir. And did you have lessons on piano like earlier on too?
No, I remember I took a class, but every class they tried to throw me in and I felt like it was going too slow.
Yeah.
So I never really stuck around. I never really learned too much.
Gotcha. So Yeah, because I think that there's like a discipline that some people learn when they take lessons early on, and maybe some of that was for like from choir for you. But like, there's people that just they learn how to practice the right way, and they become obsessive about getting things to sound exactly how it's played, and they don't stop practicing it until they've accomplished what they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
And then there's people like me that just picked up a guitar and was like, that's close enough. I was good, you know what I mean?
Yes. So yeah, that's definitely. I mean, that is still going on. People still do that all the time.
Yeah, I'm the same way now. I have like I don't want to say I have no discipline. I have some discipline now as like getting older and stuff, but just it's always been one of those things where it's like, I don't need to sound just like the record. I can play it close enough and then figure it out, you know?
Definitely, I agree with that to an extent for me because you should have your own spin on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I feel like a lot of things, if not everything, just balance that mug out though. Put your spin on it, but also know how to play it.
Exactly. Because the idea is when you learn it the right way, when you learn how to play it, like you're not just copying them, but you're also getting the technique that they used. You're learning how to bend the notes the right way. You're learning how to move your fingers in the right way.
Exactly.
And then you can take some of that and attribute it to like your own licks and like your own thing that you're coming up with. And eventually you start to develop your own style. And then it doesn't matter what you play, it's always going to sound like you playing that thing. And that's the important part. But like, not, I guess, like you want to fully develop your ability, your technical ability, so you can really focus on what you sound like rather than trying to like just kind of skate by. And then when it comes time to like developing your own sound, you're playing catch up, trying to figure the technique out and all the other shit when it's like, you know, that should have been done already.
Yeah,
Type thing,
definitely.
you know? So what was it like joining your first band and like how old were you and what kind of music was it?
First band, I was about like 15. And it was like blues, classic rock band.
Okay.
Blues, classic rock, blues for sure.
And were you guys doing covers or was it like original
Covers.
stuff? Okay, cool.
Mostly covers back then. Because I was, like I said, back then, at that age, little responsibility, I was putting a lot of time into, you know what I'm saying, listening to those greats and learning those songs. Like I said, it was almost like a race to see who could play what song the best or who could play the song. Not really the best, but who could play the song.
Right.
But so I was learning songs, you know what I'm saying, them classic songs I'd have. And so one person that stuck out to me a lot too, a couple people really stuck out, but one that really stuck out back then was Hendrix.
Yep.
So so I made a point to listen to his music pretty good.
So
at that, so you can imagine if I'm learning that shit at that age, you know what I'm saying, motherfuckers want you to play that.
Of course. Yeah, man. It's funny because like I recently had this conversation with a friend of ours, and I have been of the school of thought. I went through like a period where I thought Hendrix was like the greatest thing ever, and then I went through a period where I got a little snobby and was like Hendrix wasn't that great, and then I've recently gone back and listened to like Electric Ladyland and was blown away, but by not. I mean, just the playing because, you know, it was innovative and different for the time, but also like the writing and like the way he like played chords that was so like what you hear in like neo soul and stuff now is like what Hendrix was doing early on before a lot of people like adopted that style of playing, you know?
Right. Yeah. Because he took it from playing with like the Isley Brothers and stuff like that.
Right.
That old school R&B.
Right.
So that's what basically all neo soul is, just like a newer sound. But you're right, he kind of did like help bridge the gap from that style of playing to like what cats be playing in neo soul now.
Yeah, because you hear like Wind Cries Mary or like Castles Made of Sand, and there's all this kind of like voice leading stuff and there's these inversions, you know, that are now super common. You hear them in everything. But at that time, you heard it in like one style of music, and then he was bringing it into this like psychedelic rock arena, where it's like guys like Clapton and they were considered like, you know, the greats of that time, were discovering Hendrix and like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
Because he took what I think, it made me think about it now. I'm thinking, from my opinion, I feel like because some guys, Clapton and all them, they was listening to all them blues cats.
Exactly.
Like Hendrix already knew them blues cats, but he also knew them R&B cats.
Exactly.
And they ain't know them R&B cats like that.
Exactly. And that's what kind of bridged the gap, I think. I have a lot of love for blues. It was one of the early things that I got started on, but there was a lot, I think, that when those British guys were taking from that world, they got so hung up on just the blues and they didn't consider like the R&B and the other sides of it.
Not too much, yeah.
It's like you hear it in the writing even. It's like in R&B, there's a lot of, it's a lot of diatonic movement, right? And then in blues, it's just 12 bar, just 1-4-5 type thing. So you hear that a lot with the British guys who were adopting the blues thing, but you didn't hear so much of like the other side of it. So I don't know. I think that in listening to more Hendrix and learning more about his background, you discover like the bridge that he kind of was between the R&B world, the blues world, and the rock and roll world, and how he totally changed the game of music moving forward.
For sure.
You can make the case he's like the first fusion guitar player then, because like not in the jazz sense, you know what I mean, but like taking two genres and like kind of almost creating this subgenre or elevating both independently, like not like, John McLaughlin did like in the late 60s or stuff like that.
No, it's an early iteration of that. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely did. He was the first to, I feel like, to mesh that R&B with like psychedelic rock. Nobody else really did that shit.
And,
totally.
That kind of made me think just a second, like, you almost, to be a great of that time, you almost had to be fusion. Because like if you go look at the Beatles, they went and did like all the stuff in India, and that just kind of like mashed their sound up with, there's nothing going on around them like that, and they're kind of up there on the top 5 greats. You almost just have to pull a bunch of different stuff together and not emulate, just create.
Yeah.
Yeah, well that's what separates, like the greats, the people that go down in history, I think, that changed the culture. It's a new approach to music, and it can be in any form of art, but like there's this kind of game-changing thing. Like you set a standard, then everybody else wants to follow that standard. So you started hearing like psychedelic bands of the 60s try to kind of cop some of that Beatles stuff with the Eastern influence, and even like the production influence. And then you had guys that were copying Hendrix at a certain point. The reason why these people stand as some of the greats of their generation and beyond, I think, is because of their contribution to the art form, and maybe they weren't the first ones to do it, but they were the ones to get discovered doing it. And then, they go down in history as the people that changed the game. So it's not even about musicianship or like how you feel about their music. It's just their general contribution to the thing itself,
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting take for sure.
Definitely, I agree.
So yeah, were there any people that you kind of came up listening to that you think maybe? And I want to get into this because you had mentioned about the conversation we were having, because the comment that you made on TikTok was about our our Dwayne Allman guitar solo on Layla. So I'm curious, are there like players that kind of hit the ether, I think, that have kind of established themselves in culture throughout the world? Are there players in that realm that maybe it didn't hit you in the same way, or that you think maybe get too much credit for things?
Well, I wouldn't really want to say somebody getting too much credit, but you were talking about a specific solo.
Yeah.
So I mean, if we was talking about that now, might be a little different. But when you say artist, though, that might be. I might have to think about that for a little bit.
So what solo do you think where you're like, that you hear and you're like, it's an iconic solo, but you're like, I don't really see it?
Man. That Van Morrison sax solo on one of them songs. But nah, let's guitar. Let's stay guitar.
It could be any solo, but yeah, if you want to stick with guitar, we could do that.
Man, it might be a lot, man.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, there's so many. We had a lot of people comment about what was the Living Colors solo.
Oh,
People outside driving through. Sorry, guys. New space. House is loud.
that's tight. I'll be honest, but you talking about
in that song,
Cult of
Cult of
Personality.
Personality. Yeah, Cult of Personality. Yeah.
I haven't heard that solo in a while, but I mean, I feel like Vernon Reid thinks he's a guitar player.
Yeah.
I feel like he just did a lot of shit on that solo. He
Yeah.
just did a lot of shit that didn't really too much make sense. I just feel like he just wanted to hit a bunch of notes fast.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
But I can't really remember that solo, and one reason is because when I first heard it, I just thought that, like, oh, he just trying to just hit a whole bunch of solos,
Right.
a whole bunch of notes.
Right. Yeah, it happens a lot, especially in that era, man. I think that there's a lot of people that were, there was just like this shred thing happening.
Right.
That I think
who
people
can
were,
shred the fastest and who can shred the best and stuff.
and the technology at the time wasn't like somebody can just solo one track, whereas like now you can do that after the fact. But at that time, if you fit it in the mix properly, it's passable, you know.
Yeah, most definitely.
So it's interesting how some of these solos people consider iconic come back later on, and we're like, that was actually shit, you know.
But you know, I ain't never say out loud that the man solo was bad. So
Yeah, I mean, I can't recall the solo, so I don't know for sure, but
To me, it's got like two parts. Like the first part's super wanky, like it just a ton of notes. Then he gets into this almost like Jeff Beck-esque, like kind of bending and whammy bar thing that where he's like trying to be more expressive. So like, I don't know if that was like, you know, try to tie it into the song at all with like a fast and slow part. But other than those two sections, I'm with you. I can't tell the two apart.
yeah.
And I ran lights for him once, and he did damn near the same thing, if not note for note. So I doubt he wrote it, but maybe he's played it so many times that he's able to recreate it. I don't know, but he likes it.
Yeah.
He's committed to it. I'll give him that much, you know?
Yeah, totally. All right, so when you're like when you're in high school and you're like going through, you know, your first band experience, and you know, like what's that experience like, and when do you kind of start to get yourself plugged into the scene, like, because you're from Jacksonville, right?
St. Augustine.
St. Augustine. Okay.
But you know what I'm saying? I went to school basically kind of on the line of
Okay.
Jacksonville. So
Gotcha.
So I was playing at bars actually around like 15. Started playing at bars, but they were around like the Jacksonville area, weren't in St. Augustine.
Okay. And so was this with the band that you were in high school, or were you getting hired to play out with like different bands around town at this point?
Yeah, this was like the band, because I knew some cats that were in a grade that were older than me that had a pretty popular blues band, and they were playing in spots. So I'd come out and like sit in and stuff like that.
Okay.
But the band that I was playing, we were doing like tailgates and stuff because we were still, I mean, I was still like 15, 14 years old. So
Right. And can you kind of speak to the experience that you gained with the older cats letting you sit in and just kind of have that live performance experience in that setting? I mean, did they ask you to like do grunt work for them? Like, what kind of experience was that for you, and how did it set the tone for you moving forward?
And actually, really, I don't even think, now that I think about it, they really didn't let me sit in. I just kind of went and watched. I did start playing, my band did play a couple bar gigs.
Okay.
Where we were just playing full 4-hour gigs. You know what I'm saying? And, or 3 or 4 3-hour gigs. But they thought I was older because I was playing all that classic rock and stuff.
Right.
Blues.
Right. And, yeah, how were you guys able to get those gigs?
Yeah, it's funny you asked that. I'm thinking about it now. I really don't remember how that was possible. Really, I think they just thought we were older.
Yeah. That's wild.
Because the guys that I were in the band with were older, but they were, like grade or 2, or,
It was like 17, 18, not like 21, 22.
Yeah, not like
shit.
21, 20. No, yeah. So,
yeah.
But we somehow got them damn gigs. I don't know how the motherfuckers got them gigs. Maybe their parents hooked it up.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You see a lot of kids like that. They get like parents to kind of like the
had those parents. Then a lot of those kids had those parents.
those momagers and stuff like that.
Yeah, I had those parents.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Yeah, my dad came up. Like my dad played in bands all around South Florida and toured and did all kinds of stuff. And I love my dad to death. A huge, great human being. Didn't do fuck all to help me get plugged in with playing music in any capacity. It's kind of hilarious. But you come up with people that are like that, that have those parents that are super involved, that want to like book the gigs and buy all the fancy gear and like help their children, like just kind of get to that next level. Yeah. And it's cool, but there's also like an element where they don't get to do a lot of things. Like they don't have a lot of experiences dealing with people like one-on-one. Like I'm sure there's a lot of scenarios that you had to kind of endure without having that barrier, right? Like dealing with club owners and dealing with bar managers and people just like, unruly patrons and stuff like that. So what were kind of like your early experiences with this band?
Really not I didn't really start experiencing too much of that, because when I got after my cover band kind of disbanded, which we had some originals though. My first band was called Cat Daddy.
Cat Daddy.
First original band. I mean, we were doing covers, but I also had some original tunes that I wrote, and we put them down, recorded them actually. And again, those were like classic rock, you know what I'm saying, bluesy, classic rock, soulful. Because I had, Led Zeppelin, listen to all that kind of stuff. So putting all that kind of into music. Incubus.
Oh yeah.
Started to come about after that band broke up. The next band I did was all original.
Okay.
And that's when I was like 16.
Okay.
And
this is where kind of like you started putting these songs to like real work.
This where, we were playing at Jack Rabbit's. It was a place downtown called there was a bunch of places they had that's not there no more, man. I was playing those bits though, 16, playing original shows.
Yep.
What was that place called? Imperial, the Imperial.
Okay.
Voodoo Lounge. I mean the Voodoo shoes. Some of them I can't even remember, but we was playing them up like 16, yeah. Original, all original. So, and that stuff. By the time I got in that band, I was pretty much seasoned.
And you're playing guitar in this band.
And singing.
And singing. Okay, cool. And so the other guys, were you guys all writing together, or were you like majority writer of this?
Majority writer, because I was writing my ass off.
Okay.
There wasn't nobody writing like me like that.
Right.
When I learned how to play guitar, I was just started writing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I already had songs coming to the table. So what I did was just let them put their take on it, they spin on it, whatever they wanted to add, and we kind of made it our own. Which kind of we do that a little bit now would be easy too. I came to the band with songs. So
okay, cool. And what was kind of like the band dynamic at that point? Were you obviously you're one of the main writers, but were you like booking the gigs also, and you were like doing all that stuff, or somebody else was handling that? Not
at that point. Yeah. I had another guitar player. Again, I was still in those bands where we had momagers.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My other guitar player, like, his parents were very into what they were doing, so they were getting a lot of that stuff. Yeah, so I wasn't dealing with any of that then.
Okay.
I didn't start dealing with that until after that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And this is all like kind of classic rock, blues influenced stuff.
Yeah. When I got to this band though, that's when we was listening to Incubus and all kind of, Chili Peppers and a lot, we started getting a little bit more heavier. But I kept that soul singing. It was kind of like Led Zeppelin meets Led Zeppelin meets Allman Brothers, Otis Redding type shit.
Wow. Do you guys have anything recorded? I'd love to hear that.
We do have recorded, bro, and I don't have any of it.
Oh, no shit.
Somebody has it.
Right.
Somebody had, but we had the dueling guitars because it was 2 lead guitars.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Any of those guys still working around town?
nah.
No.
Nah.
They got smart and got real jobs.
Yeah, I mean, some of them, they actually continued to play after I might have been ousted.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? After I was ousted.
So you were ousted from the band?
I don't want to say it like that, but pretty much.
They made a collective decision
I didn't feel to move on because I think at the time, we were talking to a label, man.
Oh, really?
And but it started getting into some financial bullshit.
Okay.
Some money shit, like with the writing shit.
Yeah.
Credits. And I don't think that the guys were feeling the splits, you know, because the manager that we were saying was saying that the writer obviously, and at the time I didn't know I could just step in and say, oh no, let's just all motherfucking split it down to it. I didn't know I could say that.
Of course,
then.
yeah.
So I was like, oh shit, I didn't know that shit. I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. I did write the damn song.
Right.
So I was, so I was back then, I was like, that makes sense. So I didn't say anything, but the guys, I could tell that they were salty about it.
Yeah, well, it's a weird thing to balance, right? Because when you start to get into the legality and the paperwork of the whole thing, it starts to become very obvious who deserves what. Because you start to realize, like definitionally, what things mean. It's okay. Well, if you contributed a bass line, or you contributed a drum part, or you contributed a guitar line, it's like there's ways where we can incorporate like production or arrangement kind of contributions, but you didn't write the song,
right,
and that's kind of where definitionally things get a little weird, because if you're all talking about it beforehand, it's like we're gonna make it big, we're all gonna get equal splits across the board.
Well, that
blah blah.
That wasn't talked about either, though.
Oh, I wasn't talking about.
So nobody was talking about, oh, it's gonna be. Nobody talked about, because we were 16, 17. Nobody talked about royalties.
Right.
I guess they were thinking, since we were a band, by us being a band, everything's just straight down the middle. But our manager was talking to Sony and was like, hey, look, he's going to get a bigger cut because he's the sole writer of the song. And the guys right then and there, it wasn't no wait. Right then and there, I could tell that they didn't like the situation.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's a lot for someone to take in, especially
17 years old, yeah.
Yeah. So obviously you guys didn't make it through that period,
Hell
right?
nah, man. It sucks too, because we had something that wasn't being heard, bro.
Yeah.
2 lead guitar players and a soulful singer on that bitch, playing like that style of music. Zeppelin meets fucking Chili Peppers meets, you know what I'm saying, Allman Brothers type shit. Otis Redding type shit. Like, what the fuck? So we disbanded, but the manager told me, and I had no hard feelings, still have no hard feelings to this day, but I look at it hindsight and was like, we could have been something. That could have been something fucking badass.
Yeah.
If we would have just if we would have had a different, if we could have just talked about things. But because it was no one said, hey, someone just came to me from the band, was like, hey, look, we've been practicing without you type shit.
Oh, they did tell you that?
Somebody from the band.
Oh, damn. Yeah. That's gotta hurt a little bit.
At that age, you know what I'm saying, I already had tough skin.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, you know what I'm saying? I went to a predominantly white school, but they didn't know my other side.
Right.
And I didn't ever really let that be known either.
Yeah.
But I had tough skin, so I didn't cry about it. I was just like, damn, that's fucked up. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
I was like, but oh well, I'll just have to do something else. And the manager at the time was like, hey, because he was just talking to me, because I still was talking to him, keeping in contact. He was like, you should just find some of your brothers, man, back at home. Tell them what's the deal. You right. You need some players to play behind you and just lead the thing. And ever since he told me that, that's kind of what journey I was on.
So what was the next thing after that? So this band falls apart. You take his word.
Yeah. And
then what happens next?
Bam, I hit St. Augustine, because I wasn't in St. Augustine, but that's my hometown.
Okay.
But I never was out there like that in the bars and stuff.
Right.
So I took it to St. Augustine because I took some classes, night classes. and just did what he said. Found some brothers. He was talking about some homies that I went to church with or something that I chilled with in the street or something out in St. Augustine. So that's what I did. And sure enough, found 2 homeboys. One of the cats I already knew. The other one I didn't know, but just met because he let my homie on the bass told me about him. So he was like, we need to holler at him. So I started a 3-piece.
Okay.
And these boys, it's just like you said, some stay in the church. These boys were still in the church, hard. But I was on a mission to not really pull them from the church. I didn't want to pull them from the church, but I was on a mission to get some players from the church to play with me. Some people that I got the same background as me.
Totally.
That was my mission. I wasn't thinking about pulling them from the church, but ultimately that's what it was doing. So you can see there was going to be a power struggle there.
Of course, yeah, man. Yeah.
So, but not really with those guys. I mean, it was a power struggle. But some guys, those guys that I was with, shout out to Will, my drummer now, and B-Easy. He's
no
one of the
shit.
guys.
Okay.
They went through we went through the fights, man, and the struggle, the power struggle of church and secular music.
It's a wild thing, man, because I never understood that, until I started working at Sam Ash down in Miami, and it was like I met this pedal steel player. This is at the time like Roosevelt's really starting to blow up, right? So you got guys like Chris Johnson following behind and playing with the Lee Boys while Roosevelt's going off and doing other shit. Then you got like more guys coming up, and I'm like, oh, it's dope, man. Who you play with around town? Oh, just the church. You don't play with anybody else? Like, play with anybody? No. And I was like, it hit me, and I started asking guys around the store about it and other people, and they were like, oh yeah, these dudes don't leave the church, bro. It's like you don't do that kind of shit.
And the thing is, bro, I came from St. Augustine, and that shit's going on. So if that's happening there, which is basically pretty much Jacksonville, kinda. I mean, it ain't, but it is. It's just an extension.
Yeah.
Same thing going on in Jacksonville, going on in St. Augustine, just on a smaller scale.
Right.
So, and you can see it because that shit is happening in St. Augustine still to this day. And it's still happening. I feel a slight change. There has been a change. There has been a change with that. And it's still changing, though, because there's still those that aren't going to step out of the church.
Yeah, the change isn't going to happen overnight, but I think you definitely see guys that
more and more.
Yeah, because it's
more
like more and more, and because I think there's that, I think that everybody is, the churches and everyone outside are starting to see the value in having exposure to different styles of music, and not just the exposure, but like the implementation of different styles of music into the music experience. So whether you're at the church or whether you're at a concert somewhere or at a bar, it's like the amalgamation of your experiences with different genres comes through, and it appeals to more people. So especially if you're a church and your whole thing is to get more people on board, wouldn't you want to just musically and culturally expose people to something that they might be more familiar with than secular music or non-secular? You know what I mean? Like church music, gospel, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So so what was that? Was this the first iteration of Be Easy, or was this like a different thing?
Different thing.
Okay. And what'd you guys call this project?
That was going by SouLo and the Beat.
SouLo and the Beat.
Yeah. And we took St. Augustine, in my eyes, by storm, the music scene, because it was nothing like us.
Yeah.
You can just imagine, it's like we coming out in this St. Augustine, out in them bars out there.
Yeah.
Trade winds and shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, we 3 black dudes coming out, like, what these motherfuckers about to play?
Yeah, they're
and
used
we
to
come
fucking
out there,
Skinner
and we
single
come
night.
out there turning heads, playing everything from Hendrix to Skinner to you name it, Muddy Waters to B.B. King. They was like, oh shit, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because I was showing these boys from the church though, because they ain't really heard of none of this stuff. I'm showing them what I learned in middle school. I'm listening to the Beatles. I'm listening to by the time I met them, I was listening to. There was so much music I already knew by that time.
Right, and they were just kind of getting exposed to all this stuff.
Yeah, they ain't never heard of none of them. So a lot of time I ain't never take the time to tell them who it was or what it was. I just say, hey, play this. And I sang it, and because they could, that's how we learned in a lot of churches. Hey, play this or do this. I could play it with my mouth. Just do this beat.
Right.
And hey, just play this to that right now.
Right.
And they'll do it, but they might not know what it is. But I'll put it there, some 12-bar blues might be a church sounding song to them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I'd throw some Muddy Water with lyrics over that mug. Now we got something. The crowd loves you. They know it. They ain't know what they might not have known, but they're playing their ass off the shit I told them to play, which is just some churchy sounding shit, really.
And especially like on some of the blues stuff, man, because like I played in a blues band for a long time, and when we had to like the drummer or like our full-time drummer was a church guy that left the church, but if he had to sub out, he'd bring in other church guys, and then you try and tell him to play like a shuffle. They're doing like a 12/8 kind of like fucking. It sounds cool, but it's not the blues.
Right.
So the band leader's having a fucking fit up there, and I'm sitting there like cracking up, just like, this sounds good to me, bro. Don't fuck around. But like, it's funny because like, it's just, but it's also cool because it makes it a different thing, right? And that's what. But then it's like those guys start to get exposed to more music and learn more of the stuff and the chops and like all the stuff just kind of.
If you can incorporate it, yeah, it can be a monster.
Totally.
You know what I'm saying? But I was dealing with that back then, bro. I had a cousin of mine who played keys. I wanted a keyboard player because I was tired of just being three-piece. I wanted to relax and concentrate on singing, you know what I'm saying? A little bit, rather than just, I got to play guitar all the time in three-piece pretty much,
Right.
I tried to get him, boy. That was one I couldn't get.
Yeah. Those keys players are the hardest ones, man.
Right. They're supposed to, yeah. I couldn't get him. Also too, I think, shoot, I don't know, man. Both of those boys' parents were pastors too. We talking about pastors churn, not just regular old church folk. Pastors churn,
right? So
it's gonna be real hard for them. So you can imagine what their parents thought of me.
Of course, yeah. You're like the devil coming at them, trying to pull them away from their family in the church.
But I wouldn't know, man. I was really just trying to broaden their horizon as musicians and get the hell up out of Dodge.
Of course.
That's what I was trying, and do something with our talent. I wasn't trying to, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't trying to do that. Them boys what you fail to realize in religion, I feel like, because I was deep in it, is that we all got good and bad up in us. The devil, ain't no finding the devil. Ain't nobody gonna show you the devil. It's already up in you. So, you know what I'm saying? When they be talking about, going out there, and playing and the devil, and being in the devil's, but I feel like we all got that up in us.
Totally.
Both good and bad. So it ain't like I showed them nothing they ain't already know.
Right. Right.
So I was just really about that music, man. It wasn't about, taking anybody away, but it took time, it took practice, and it took playing out to broaden your horizon. It took listening to different types of music to do that.
Totally.
And to become a better player. Because I feel like the more music I feel like the better player you can be. If you're trying to play with other players and play other music, you know what I'm saying? The more you know. It's
important, man. I mean, it's super important. Like I've talked to guys out there that are kind of set in their ways and do what they do, and it's like, okay, that's cool, and like in that scenario you're comfortable, but then you go and play with people in a different scenario and then you hate it, right? Because you don't know what to do. And does that feel good to you? Because music is supposed to be fun at the end of the day, right? So if you can't engage in the conversation, is it fun for you? And then why do you want to have most musical experience be not fun, right? Because if you can do one thing, that's fine, but most of the time you're not going to be doing that one thing, which means most experiences within music are going to be really shitty for you, right? So then why not try to learn as much as you possibly can, at least on a fundamental level, so you can sit in and at least have a conversation,
right?
And then that way it's fun. It becomes like you're comfortable. You broaden your horizons. You can have a conversation. You can get in and be creative. But so that's the whole thing, right? Is that you want to be as in the know as possible, so you have less of those uncomfortable interactions.
Exactly. Well, you don't know what the hell is going on.
Yeah, man.
But that's what it was. But those cats though, shout outs to them. because they really want. That's what it was. They loved the music too. They
Right.
really wanted to do it too.
So were you guys writing in this project?
Again, it was like I was writing. Like I was writing machine, bro.
Yeah.
I still because that's the thing. I've been writing since I was playing, when I first started playing keys. Like, so I've been writing since I was 6, 7, bro. Starting like poems and then seeing how poems were the same as songs real quick.
Yeah.
And then I just started writing songs,
That's awesome.
playing keys. So writing songs was real easy to me. So I ain't had time to be waiting on nobody.
Right.
If I can just do it already and just have it already. But definitely work together, and I'm down with people putting into it and creating something. But at the time, I was solely writing. But we were doing mostly covers.
Right. So pays the bills around here.
Yeah, at that time too, man, because we didn't want to work. We was working, shoot, man, we were working at Dunkin' Donuts, we worked Denny's, we didn't want to work them kind of jobs.
Yeah, totally.
So it was like, man, I was like, I gotta do something. I gotta do something different.
Yeah.
I gotta learn these songs. We gotta get some gigs.
Yeah.
So at that time, it wasn't no trying to learn no originals, because we were trying to work without having to work at these spots like that.
Right. Because you can make in a night or 2 nights what you make in a week at those
Right.
places,
Not back then though.
Really?
Yeah, not like that. I wouldn't say that. I mean, $100 a gig was normal back then.
Yeah.
I mean,
But even so, like if you're,
I guess so. Yeah,
if
right.
you're doing Dunkin' Donuts 40 hours a week at minimum wage, when minimum wage was like
200. Yeah, it's $200 something.
yeah, you're doing $200 gigs, in a week, and sometimes you could double up right in a day, and then you could do that in a day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's easy, and also it's just like if you can. I'm a big believer in if you can keep your eyes on the prize and just utilize the bar gigs as you would a day job, and then stay creative and write and keep pursuing the other thing, right? Then it's the perfect day job to have because you make your own schedule.
Definitely was doing that.
If you got to cancel shit, you call another band and be on deck with another band ready to cover you. When you got to cancel, it's easy,
Definitely.
So, how long did that band last for? How long were you guys playing bars and doing stuff and writing? And then when did that dissipate?
5, 6, 7. It went on until I joined Be Easy around like 2012,
Okay.
something like that, 2013. And at that period, I was only booking a little bit for my trio. So I was only playing like solo shows at that time. And I had already told the guys, like, because I got burned out, like you say, I was doing, booking gear, breaking down, setting up, writing, and all that stuff, weddings and all that stuff going down. So I just got kind of burned out from that. So I just started doing solo stuff here and there, or mainly for booking. And then I was hit up because my dog Will knew I was tired of that shit. I was burned out. So he was like, bro, this band, we got this band, you should try it out. They trying to have a guitar player, a singer. So fucking went in, tried it out, and that was Be Easy. That's how Be Easy got started, pretty much. The way that it is, that we know it of. But Be Easy was before me. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Like, it was already, I think it was a 3-piece or whatever. They came from St. Louis or somewhat in Illinois.
Okay.
As a 3-piece
Wow. They moved to Jacksonville.
from Illinois. Yeah.
No shit. What was do you know the reasoning behind that?
I think just to get away from where they were at. I think.
Okay.
A lot of people. I used to live over there in that area, so I feel like too. Probably a lot of people over there feel, it's almost like paradise over here.
Yeah.
That's what they was talking about. And I don't blame them because they ain't got beaches around there,
Right.
stuff like that. So
It was like Springfield.
I think a
Illinois.
place called Carbondale. He was from
Carbondale.
a place called Carbondale.
Okay.
But I was when I was there. I went to Springfield. I was in Springfield.
Yeah, it's just on the other side of St. Louis. So I just
No. I wasn't in Illinois. I was in Missouri, which is that tri-state
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever. I was in Illinois, which I've drove through all that stuff.
Right.
But-
Yeah. So What was like when you first joined Be Easy? Was it like because you guys for a long time have been doing the cover circuit and bar stuff and wedding stuff, but you guys you consider Be Easy to be an original band, right?
Yeah, shoot, there ain't no other band like us.
Yeah, I mean that's for sure. You guys are like but you guys are writing and like you guys put out music and you do that and you've done some touring and stuff.
Definitely.
Yeah. So was it more of that when you first joined the band, or were you guys were we kind of heavy on the bar circuit and wedding circuit? When
we were trying. That was the point when I first joined the band. The point of the band was to do more like weddings and stuff.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Corporate stuff. But it turned into we started playing bars and stuff like that. Now it's more so we're doing more corporate stuff now.
Right.
Less bar stuff now.
Right.
But now that gives us time to free up to write and stuff.
Yeah, you play less gigs, make more money and shit.
Right.
So what's the creative process not like now with the band? Would you consider yourself like the sole songwriter?
Nah, we try to do everything more together, but as me and the other singer, we are pretty much the sole writers.
Aaron?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Aaron. You know. So we are pretty much the sole writers, but you know, you never know. Sometimes he might already have a song down, or I might already have one and bring it to the table.
Yeah. Or
already to start it writing. Right now it's kind of like we'll make some music and then he'll write a verse and I'll write the other verse or some shit like that.
Yeah. And so I'm excited to hear what you guys are gonna be putting out. How's this band different from like the past projects that you've been in as far as the writing process? Obviously now it's more collaborative, but as far as like just the gigs that you're doing, the music you're playing, and the writing, and just the goals overall, and the dynamics within the band, because that obviously has a big role in it, right?
Yeah. I will always say this band, I call it Frankenstein band, because we would just kind of put together some good players, you know what I'm saying, and made it work. So my past wasn't like that. It wasn't like that, I don't think. And this was a lot more pieces too. So
you guys were what, like 9 pieces in full form?
I think so. 7, 8.
7 or
like
8.
That.
Yeah. Yeah, that shit's fucking wild.
Yeah.
You have a full horn section?
Yeah.
Who plays horns with you guys?
Well, we usually just do a double horn. Darren Escar on sax and Rob Bidwell on trumpet.
Okay, yeah.
Or Jaron Walker on sax too.
Okay, cool. Hell yeah.
So sometimes we do the double sax trumpet, you know. So, and other times we use a trombone player too as well.
Damn. Hell yeah. And so what's some of the stuff that you guys are doing that you do like on the side? Because you write your own stuff, you do production work, right?
Yeah.
So what are some of the things you've been doing outside of that? And I'm curious as to like, you know, I'm very big on production stuff and how people are kind of like how those deals are structured, right? Because you'll write songs for different artists, they might record it and play it, but like you might be getting credits on the production side or whatever it might be. So like, can you talk to some of what the business is like on that end and kind of the stuff that you're doing, different artists and stuff?
Well, what you mean, like as far as what do you mean? I don't get what you're saying as far as.
So are you writing songs like for you mainly or for other artists?
Oh yeah, me mainly.
For you mainly. Okay.
Recently though, I'm doing a collaboration with another artist from another band.
Okay.
But I wrote the song, but again, I let him put his verse down on it.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's more like a collaboration feature type shit.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mostly write for just me and the band right now.
Okay. Cool. And I've seen that you've done like session work for people, right? Like as far as a guitar player and stuff goes.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
What's kind of that experience like for you? Because I'm always like, if I have the time to do it by myself, it's like, it's easy. You know, you can like sit there and take as many takes as you need. But have you been in a scenario where it's like you're on the clock, you're in the studio, and it's like you're hearing the song for the first time and it's like you got to go? Mm-hmm. So what's that like for you?
I like those.
Yeah.
I like that. I like this. It's a rush for me. But that's the kind of person I am, kind of spontaneous.
Yeah.
So if I feel like if I'm spontaneous, then I can kind of go with that spontaneous shit.
Yeah.
But so I'm the guy for that.
Okay.
If I ain't even heard the song, yeah, I'm not. If you want somebody to come throw some guitar on it real quick, I don't have a problem with it.
Like guitar soloing or comping,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
Do you
yeah,
read
no
music at all?
Nah.
No, you just hear it and you just got it. Hell yeah.
I mean, I'm not like. I mean, I can read tabs or some shit.
Yeah. But like
Some
sheet music.
No.
If you walk in and somebody's like, "Here's a sheet music,"
Hell nah.
go. You're just like, "Nah, fuck that."
Nah, just throw the motherfucking chord letters up that bit.
Yeah, I'm definitely of that.
Do that.
Want some more? Fuck yeah, let's do it.
Give me a little bit. That boy. Yeah. Cheers, bro. Yes, sir. For sure. Thanks for having me on, Doc.
We got Melody featured on the podcast today. She's decided to make herself comfortable. So, yeah, man, I love doing studio work. I love production stuff. I love like hearing people record their parts and trying to help them craft the right part. Super into all that stuff. And I've gotten infinitely better at, the anxiety of seeing that red button go off, but like if to me, it's one of those things where I want to be prepared walking in, or just send me a track and let me do it by myself so I can like get in the headspace. Because if I walk into a studio and I'm on your dime and we got like 2 or 3 takes to get it, that shit's going to make me so fucking like just nerve wracked and like not able to concentrate.
Yeah, man.
But you like that.
I like that, but because I can...
You can say because you're better than me.
I ain't gonna say that.
I'm not a pussy. I'm not
I ain't gonna
scared.
say that. I can't even say that. I ain't never really heard you play like all the way like that anyway. So I don't try to look and see who's better anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We all do our own thing at our own speed. So
Totally. Yeah.
I ain't trying to be better than nobody. I'm trying to just be better than myself.
Exactly.
The next phase of myself. But nah, it's because I'm just, like I said, it's just the environment that I grew up in the music world, which was like my family weren't musicians. So when they threw me in church and stuff, in a lot of situations, they threw me in and I just had to catch on and follow.
Yeah.
So that helped me a lot. So that's why I like those challenges, and I usually can knock it out. It don't take me too much.
Yeah.
It don't take me too much.
That's awesome.
But I also do like the other way as well. So either way, I like him either way. I do like going by myself in the own pace. But how I know I can do it the other way is because I've done it. So I know I can do it the other way too.
Right.
But at my own pace, like you said, at the house, that's golden for me too.
To me, because I like to, for studio stuff, I like to write solos out. If I'm playing live, I'm much more of an improviser. I hate playing composed parts. But in a studio, I like to know what I'm going to play. That way I have like a starting point and a clear end goal. Otherwise, if we leave it up to like improv the whole time, I could take a million takes and not like any of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's cool. That's awesome you're able to do it that way. All right, guys, this episode's brought to you by Best Buds CBD Store. If you're like me, maybe THC isn't always the right high for you. Or maybe the legal status of THC has you a bit hesitant to indulge. So at Best Buds CBD Store, they have an array of CBD and Delta-8 THC products. These guys truly care about their service, so everything is meticulously sourced and prepared to deliver a top-notch product and experience. If you head to their website, you'll find all kinds of educational information regarding Delta THC and CBD. Not to mention, if you use promo code BotBPod, that's BOTB pod, you'll save 10% on your order. This is not a one-time deal. If you use promo code BotBPod, every time you place an order with Best Buds, it will give you 10% off. That's in perpetuity, forever. So head over to bestbudscbdstore.com and start saving on all of your CBD and Delta-8 products. Enjoy, guys. Are you a fan of dog parks? Well, how about drinking? Because at Kanine Social, you can quite literally do both. Located in Jacksonville's Riverside neighborhood, Kanine Social offers both indoor and outdoor dog parks with plenty of space for your fur babies to socialize and exercise. Kanine Social also has a wide array of local and regionally brewed craft beers on tap, as well as kombucha, nitro coffee, and wine if beer just isn't your thing, like me. They also offer unparalleled dog training programs with the best in-class trainers of Jet Set University and luxury boarding services as well. Be sure to head to their website at caninesocial.com to find out all the info you need to be sure you and your pup have the best experience available at Kanine Social. All right, guys, I want to take a second to talk to you about my favorite music store in Jacksonville. This is Mockshop Music Exchange. It's a place for true gearheads. They work with some of the most boutique pedal companies on the market, which for someone like me is super important. I love supporting smaller brands, but I also like being able to create my own unique sound. And with the variety of boutique brands these guys work with, it's almost certain you'll find that sound. They not only carry an assortment of pedals, amps, and guitars, they also offer top-notch gear repair with everyone's favorite tech, Mikey. These guys have come through for me in a pinch more than on a few occasions, and I won't spend my money anywhere else. So make sure you guys check out Mockshop Music Exchange in the Murray Hill neighborhood of Jacksonville. You will not regret it. Super knowledgeable, amazing gear. Check it out and enjoy the experience. Chris, did we get any bottom line news stuff? What? See what we got. So we have a segment called Bottom Line News, and we basically just pick an article about music industry happenings, news within it, and just seeing. Oh boy, Canadian woman suing beverage company after causing $15 million in damage, leaving a Marilyn Manson concert. What the fuck? Canadian woman convicted of impaired driving is now trying to sue the beverage company who served her. That's insane.
What?
Ovations and its employees served, I don't know what that says, when they knew she was already intoxicated.
Lease,
Lease.
I guess.
The company failed to provide bouncers to monitor the state. That's insane. Company failed to check her intended mode. Oh my God. This is some fucking Canadian shit, bro.
Yeah,
this does not fly in America.
Yeah, no way. Hell no.
I can't hear you.
Oops.
There we go.
I was wondering if it was a Marilyn Manson hit piece. Like if they're, because, he's
in trouble, yeah.
Yeah, hot, water right now.
Yeah.
And
For real?
Almost just,
He's getting Me Too'd hardcore.
big time. And so, I wonder.
Deserves it, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of a scumbag piece of shit.
Yeah.
But I just kind of wondered, are they going after anything even close to the name association? Because, that feels pretty weak, going after something like.
I don't know the laws in Canada, so I can't say if there's any grounds for this at all. It just seems like, it seems like quite a reach. And, I mean, I don't know, man. That's wild. Could you imagine getting pulled over for a DUI and then trying to tell the cop, it's not my fault, it's the venue's fault for not checking my drinking levels or what I'm trying to do. That seems so wild.
Let me just add to this in the first part. She drove into a house, severed a gas line. The house blew up and blew up 4 houses around it.
Yeah.
So it's not your average DUI, sleeping at a stop sign or something.
Oh shit! No,
it's some shit. No one died.
Fucking
no one died. Damn.
No one died. So
that's good.
Well, that's good. But 4 houses around it.
All right. Well, that's fucking wild. What else we got in that little email thing? Is this one's fucking lame?
Well, let's see.
TikTok tastemaker Ari Elkins joins Ava. Oh no, I don't want to hear about any CEO transfers of power.
Madonna, she's still relevant. Is that cool?
I don't care about her celebration tour. Sold out 36 dates. Good for her.
What about Kendrick? Kendrick's on.
Kendrick Lamar tracks leak on Spotify, YouTube, and Deezer. I mean, who leaked them? Did he leak them?
Let's find out.
There's not as much hype after Damn. He released a whole album and I didn't even realize it. And I was like, oh shit, there's another Kendrick album out? Oh.
Right.
I think a lot of these guys, what they do is, and I'm just speculating here, but they get all of this hype and fame after a huge release for them, and then they just stop doing not the creative work, obviously, but the work on the other end where it's like the marketing stuff where they think that they can just ride off of their previous wave. I'm not sure that's how it works, especially now when there's literally 100,000 songs being uploaded to streaming platforms every single day.
Yeah. So crazy.
Needless to say, though, that and what does that say, Chris? I can't read it.
So needless to say, though, that basically this unknown individual.
Oh, so he didn't leak it.
No, so someone leaked it, and it's getting at it's kind of, we've talked about this a little bit with Spotify, but so much is going up daily that like the artists not being able to regulate their own stuff is, I mean, that's a massive industry. It's not like, I guess what's crazy is like it didn't go on SoundCloud, it didn't get put up on YouTube or something, like it got on the streaming services.
Right. Somebody.
Like, how did it get past all his management, his marketing teams?
It's a PR play. That's what they do, because it's like PR people fucking sit there and like have their whoever they represent do some wild shit and then have it recorded and be like and leak it to like TMZ or whatever, and then it's like to them, to the PR person, it's like just work now. It doesn't even matter if it makes your artists look good or bad. It's the fact that you're just, now you have work on your plate.
So you think someone on his team did this?
100%. He owns the masters. There's no way. Him and a couple other people own the masters on that, which means somebody within his team leaked it to somebody. That's the only way that happens. There's no like, that's
a smart PR move too.
100%. Because now it's being talked about, right? He's got 3 leaks.
He's relevant again.
Exactly. And not only is he being talked about, but he's being talked about as a victim, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And he's being talked about with new music. So it's like now whatever they do next is going to be fucking huge.
So we're not worried about like where it leaks. Like that's not really the big deal. Because like to me, Spotify is like almost like I get leaking it to a news outlet or a blog or something that's like almost more grassroots, but to like leak it right where everything else already is.
That's what I'm saying, is that like it's being like, it's going through the right channels to be distributed. So somebody within his team just did that, and whether or not he's in on it, I
was about to say,
impossible to
what's
speculate.
the difference between just calling it a leak and calling it just like a drop from, like they just drop some music.
It's just the artist not knowing, I guess.
Even like, how do we know if he knows? Like,
That's
you know
what I'm
I mean?
saying.
Like,
Yeah.
You don't know.
It's just how you spin it, right? If the artist doesn't know, then it's a leak. If the artist does
basically,
know,
this
it's a
article
drop.
should just be Kendrick Lamar release new music.
This is the fucking world we live in right now.
Yeah,
bro.
that's crazy.
Fuck, that's wild. I mean, cool.
So it's on Spotify?
This is
Yeah.
why.
We'll look for it.
Yeah, spot.
This article.
Exactly why someone is marketing right now.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
Like I can push the buttons, but like, fine. If you want to call it this, that's great. I mean, we clicked on it, so fuck.
Exactly. You got us.
And we're talking about it.
And not only, and I'm talking about going to look for it on Spotify.
Yeah,
I will listen to this on the way home. What do you think, Gene? Let's over under. Is it better than Damn or on? I'm going under.
I don't know. I'm kind of leaning more towards under for some reason. I feel like I haven't listened to the album that came out after Damn, but I don't know. I was talking to some people about it, and they're like, I don't know.
What'd you think of the Big Stepper record?
What?
The record, that his newest one?
Is that what it's called, Big Stepper?
I think so. Yeah,
I
Mr.
don't know.
Morale and the Big Stepper.
I didn't listen
It
to
was
it.
very emotional and topical. All right.
Oh,
well,
excellent.
Chris just discovered hip hop like a year ago. So he's like, just like, this is a whole new world for him.
this is crazy. I discovered it 3 years ago, and he's gonna cheat me like that.
You're right. Yeah. I've never been a big Kendrick fan, to be honest. I'm not like a hater on him.
Is that
by
because
any-
you're old or what?
It's probably a part of it, but it's like, I'm a lyrics guy, and like, not saying he doesn't have lyrics, but like,
God Almighty!
Yeah,
Jesus
yeah,
fucking-
and
What are you
your
saying,
issue
Ton?
is what?
what I'm saying is that you can't put him at the status they put him when people like Most Def are out there, right? Let's say you have a conscious hip hop artists that are like saying shit in ways that are just like mind blowing. Whether or not you agree, it's just the way they put the words together artistically and the flow and all that. And then you got people putting Kendrick on the same level. And to me, I'm just like, it's good.
Nah, I don't know.
No, I think
I don't know about the same level now.
I think the scene tapped him. Like when they got him on the Super Bowl with Snoop and Dre and all those guys, I feel like that was them tapping him and going, "Yeah, you're like, we've deemed you're cool." And
That wasn't a Kendrick thing. That was a fucking, that was an Interscope thing. That was a showcase for
Dre and
Dre's
Eminem,
label.
yeah.
That wasn't anything else in a showcase for Dre's label, which is fine. But like, just
I still think that Kendrick has like a combination of both lyricism and musical mastery. That would put him at a very considerable level. I would even say above Mos Def.
Oh, really?
Above most of
Maybe, I don't know. I can't really say that. I don't know enough.
Yeah, watch your words. Watch your words.
Gene just found hip hop 6 months ago.
Yeah. I don't know.
Fine, Chris.
I'm not a hater on Kendrick. There's people that do hate on him. I think he's very talented, and I like some of the stuff he does, but it always ruins it for me when people start like categorizing people as greats.
Right.
Same thing that happened with Lil Wayne. It was like I liked Lil Wayne, and then they started categorizing him as like the greatest rapper of all time. And I'm like, you guys just ruined it for me.
Well, I don't think a lot of them cats say it themselves.
They
say it themselves. So, you know what I'm saying? And every rapper come out they're the greatest rapper alive. Now, shoot, Drake done said it. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z done said it, you know.
Jay-Z has more grounds to stand on than Drake does.
Well, that's why I was saying that so does, and that's what I'm saying. Kendrick can't really compare to Mos Def though, because Mos Def got weight, you know what I'm saying? Our boy done been around, and he done said some things. He done said some things that, you know what I'm saying? Like, his flow is just like, it's got a different type of intellect to it.
Yeah.
It's got a real intellect to that bit. And that's where Kendrick get his from.
Right.
Who you think you know what I'm saying? People like that. People like your boy and KRS-One and all them cats, bro.
Yeah, totally.
And Mos Def, Black Star. That's one of my favorite duos right there.
Talib Kweli and Mos Def.
Hell yeah, that shit raw.
Yeah, they just released a record, I think, a couple of years back. It was their first one in a long time. Yeah.
Their lyrics is just, you know what I'm saying?
Next level.
Intellect, yeah, it's Kendrick, and that's where I feel like Kendrick is kind of on that same type of vibe, but he's more mainstream.
Right.
His flow is more animated, which gives him, I feel like, more of a people want to gravitate to that because it's way different the way he flow and he animate his flow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's different.
Yeah, I guess it's a different thing altogether. I just, one of those things for me where people say J. Cole's another one where people talk about his.
He say he the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody said all the rap, it's part of like, it's built into like the battle culture of hip hop. And it's fine, but it's one thing when they say it, but it's another thing when the culture starts putting it at that level. I'm like, I don't think that maybe you guys aren't fully aware of what exists out there when you say that these guys are, because they say it to sell records, but when you're saying it as like a real thing, it's like, I don't know, like you have to dismiss a world of like hip hop that
before your ass was listening to it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
or somewhere else that they might not know.
Exactly, because it's not even that it was back then. It's like a lot of it's still occurring now.
Mm-hmm.
It's just happening in a different sphere, like not in the pop sphere. So it's like when people say, well, Kendrick or J. Cole or like Drake and fucking Lil Baby or something, it's like we're literally comparing Wendy's and McDonald's here. We're not comparing, like, you know what I mean?
That boy is another cat who kind of got my name. I think he go by SouLo, and they from the same spot as Kendrick. What's his name? Yeah, I just got into rap, so I can't ask y'all. I just playing. Now he a new rapper though. What's my name, man? His SouLo. Absol.
Absol's so good.
I don't know who that is.
Absol is like he on the same lines as Kendrick. Like
he was on Top Dog for a while with Kendrick.
Oh really?
Yeah, he's really good.
Absol, he another cat that I just kind of discovered a couple of years ago. But I got a few of his tracks on my library because he cold. Like he talk about. That's what I thought you were saying. Is rappers on other spheres, motherfuckers don't know about. You don't know about him.
I don't know about him. Yeah,
he cold. He's saying dope ass, intellectual type shit too, street shit too, intellectual because the man's smart. You know what I'm saying? Just like Most Def. Hakeem Bey, like that, he's smart, bro. He got intellects, he got brains.
Yeah,
not just some similarities.
Not just an MC, he also a historian, like motherfucking. You know what I'm saying?
Like the shit that he references, like even musically when he's talking about like jazz and
He's historian, motherfucking alchemist, all kind of shit. That motherfucker.
I gotta check this guy out though. Absol.
Yeah, you want to highlight him. Yeah,
definitely.
Get him on the podcast.
Yeah, sure. And tell me to come when he come.
Yeah, okay.
I say, man, you got my name, bruh.
Yeah.
That bruh saying, because I think his Instagram is SouLo. And I'm like, no, this man.
Damn.
Yeah, he spelled it just like me too.
Damn.
I'm like, man, your name Absol, bro.
Absol's already taken by somebody else.
Absol?
Yeah, that's probably why he did SouLo on Instagram.
Oh, on Instagram, yeah, probably, yeah.
I'll have to check him out.
Yeah, well, he definitely can't go by Herbert, so.
Damn, you know when he killed a man like that. Damn, I didn't even see that till you said it.
Yeah.
Herbert Anthony Stevens the fourth.
Damn.
Definitely not selling records.
I got
of
a
that
different
name.
picture in my head when you said that whole full name out loud.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mugshot.
Anyways, all right, I gotta check him out. And this whole Kendrick thing with the leak, I don't know. It seems to me like it's just a publicity stunt.
Yeah.
It's definitely not revolutionary, but it's
interesting
good
though.
hypothesis.
It's an interesting conversation though.
Yeah.
If I had looked at that and not put the thought into it, I would have just considered it a leak and kind of moved on and talked about it like a leak. But that's that's a cool spin for marketing. Marketing's taken a bunch of weird turns now in this social media industry.
There's just no other way. Like he owns the masters, I would imagine. And if he doesn't, somebody on his team does.
Right.
And there's just, there's only one way.
People can get it without going through the masters too, though. You know what I'm saying? Somebody fucked around and downloaded it, you know what I'm saying, just to hear some shit, and then somebody else, you know what I'm saying, airdrop that because you airdrop that shit.
Totally. So somebody could have hacked it and gotten it, yeah. But
that could be a way, but that's
a real likely story with as much control as those guys have over their artists.
I know
the way
that
information
big.
Gets around.
I like what you say with the publicity stunt.
Yeah,
good hypothesis.
All right, well, it's bottom line news, guys. Thought that was a fun one.
It's fun.
Good job, Chris.
Yeah, good job, man.
We'll do this. I like this daily snapshot thing. We got to keep doing it.
Yeah, I do it all the time. That's why I always reference. I just didn't do it today because I got caught up. But
I like the roulette.
Yeah, the roulette one. That fucking Marilyn Manson one was garbage. Hot garbage. I don't know shit about Canadian law. Well. Anyways, so what's next for you on the docket, man? Like, what do you want to do? Like, what are your goals with this whole music thing? Like, what do you want to see happen for yourself?
Oh man,
this is a tough one. I always hate this question people ask me.
It is a good question. I'm just trying to get this music out, man. I've been writing. I got an album coming out. I've been writing the album.
Solo album?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Mine will probably be out before Band Be Easy's.
Okay.
Because I've been really at it trying to get it out.
What kind of music?
I'm gonna do a reggae album.
Okay. Hell yeah.
I said that shit about 5 times. I'm gonna do. No.
Yeah, we do. Just cut it up, chop and screw reggae album.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a reggae album.
So, is this something that you always want to do? That you've been, like,
Yep.
Is this a genre you've been influenced by for a long time?
Yep. And I
Okay.
never really did. I always kind of did some reggae, some this, some, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now I'm just doing. It's just gonna be a full out reggae album, and I'm starting out what I call easy entrance into it from where I can go. You know what I'm saying? With just reggae. So I'm just gonna start out a little easy entrance.
You trying to do like more traditional rootsy style, or do you want to do more like, dance hall style? Like what kind of reggae are you trying to go for, do you think?
Man, I'm gonna do. They say it's a genre now. I don't know that for sure, but them cats, white boy reggae.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a genre. It's been a genre for a long
Is it?
time.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Is it genre?
100%.
Revolution and the
Yeah.
Yeah.
White boy reggae.
Expendables,
Oh, okay.
yeah, all of them.
Okay. That's what they say. I whatever. But
As a joke, it's not like a real. It's
No,
not
it's
like
a
you
real
go on
genre of
Spotify
reggae. No,
and
it's
type
Search
in
it on
White Boy.
Spotify.
It's a real genre of reggae.
Let's find out.
There's no fucking way you're gonna put Revolution. I like Revolution, but there's no way you're gonna put like fucking Pepper or like the Expendables on the same kind of thing with like.
Whoa! Don't come on! You can't just single out. And the Expendables are straight out.
I like them. I'm not saying I don't like them,
but you said Pepper.
Yeah, Pepper's
so.
Terrible.
But you saying that go.
Because Revolution to me keeps. They're as close to like roots reggae as you can get.
I don't now. You might know a little bit more. So this is my take on it, bro.
Okay, let's hear it.
My take on it.
Let's hear it.
I don't want to say against it, but I didn't listen to it a lot.
Yeah.
The
like
West
Coast
reggae style reggae. After Sublime.
Yeah.
And I didn't really listen to them that much either because I was a big hardcore roots reggae fan.
Yeah.
But to be honest, now I came to a place where it's all pushing reggae out there. So I don't hate on those cats, man. They do their thing.
Yeah, I don't hate on it either. It's just there's a clear difference when you're listening to people like the Heptones or like.
Oh, of course.
But
shoot, so one of those cats, I might have one of them cats on my album. So
I see. Okay. I see what's happening.
I might want to do that.
Yeah, no. I love Pepper and the Expendables and
Supervillain,
Revolution.
All them cats. I'm working
real hard.
I'm working. I'll work with all of them because they write good music. They're good writers.
It's good writers. No, and Revolution, I will say, I do like them a lot. They write some. I don't know if they write the horn sections, but the horn sections with what in those tunes are phenomenal. There's just like there's some people like Pepper to me is so fucking like frat boy, like just get hammered, party, and just like I
haven't listened. Oh, they saying shoot, I was covering one of their tunes one time back in the day.
We've all covered Pepper tunes.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
that motherfucking that hot and sexy, that hot little sex, whatever it is.
Yeah. If we all got to cover shit we don't want to. Anyway, my point being is that there to me is a clear difference, and there's some guy like I love what Slightly Stupid does, right? Because they kind of took this dub approach, and they were doing like this. They were doing their version of a lot of this music, but they also like have a full understanding of the history of that music, which I don't fully have, but I can appreciate where it's coming from, and then their take on it. They did something completely different with it. And then you got Revolution that has more of a traditional roots vibe to what they're doing, and I like that a lot. But then you got guys that are just kind of like you can tell are just trying to sell tickets, and that to me is like I don't know. It kind of loses its value to me. That being said, congratulations on doing a West Coast reggae. We'll call it West Coast reggae record. Like the idea that you're going to do a white boy reggae album.
The reason why I said that, dog, is because this is the only reason why I said it. It's the only difference. This is the only difference. I'm not against it. This is the only difference. This why white boy reggae. All it is that you're able to understand what they're saying. They're talking about some shit that everybody here understands is going through at the same time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they're singing it over a reggae style of music. That's all they're doing. So I dig that. I call it, but it's not white boy reggae. I don't know why. I say that because I do speak patois.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
But I'm not. But see, and I used to always incorporate that into when I sing reggae. But then when you look at it, you know what I'm saying? And it took this long to say, like, really, who am I getting through to if I'm playing to a whole bunch of Americans?
Right.
They don't understand what I'm saying. So I'm able to get through to them because that's what reggae is for.
Right.
For it to get through to the masses a message that should be heard.
Right.
So that's what I'm going to do.
I dig that. And I didn't think about it that way. And you just schooled me on something.
Hey,
so
it's all good. It's all good.
I'm sitting here talking shit. He's like, I'm just trying to get a fucking message out. Fuck you.
Exactly. That's what it's for, man.
There's like it's interesting because like there's this whole thing about when music tends to what people call sell out, right? And how it loses something. And there's a documentary, I can't remember what it's called, but they were talking, it's just about like, it was about just traditional styles of music in general. And there's an interview with Mos Def, and he's like, hip hop is folk music. At the end of the day,
Yep.
It's music of the people.
Yeah.
And when it became music for the masses is when it started to kind of lose some of its thing. But I think that there's a value in what you're saying. You know, if you can try and create music that people can generally appreciate on a basic level, but have a message that's deep and impactful, I think that's kind of the sweet spot.
Yeah.
You know, that a lot of people that are more traditionalists might not think about so much. So when
I didn't. I was one.
Yeah, and I think everybody goes through that. So like when Mos Def says that, he's thinking about it from a very traditional point, and he's like, obviously he's got his views, and if you listen to his music, he's very outspoken about those. So of course he's trying to keep it close to his heart, right? But when there's guys like Kendrick Lamar and other guys, J. Cole, and people that are newer, they can kind of hold on to some of that spirit, but put it in a context where people can appreciate it and want to listen to it. It does, I think, the movement overall like more of a service, because you get the message out to people.
Damn right.
They can understand it in a context that makes sense to them, and it's palatable for them.
Yeah, exactly, palatable. And so that's what I'm working on. And it's been a journey. It's been a challenge for me, because I've been so long, programmed to just want to get that authentic, you know what I'm saying? Because my people's is Jamaican too. So of course I want that authentic thing. But when you look at it, it's but the one piece the piece of the puzzle you might be missing is that not only what you said is correct, but also it might water it down, like you say, because where reggae started in Jamaica, man, that reggae was spitting fire. Besides fire, it was spit. They talk about love, like R&B and stuff, but then they started really getting into social issues,
right?
And really spitting that fire. You know what I'm saying? In their lyrics. So it was whipping the system ass,
right?
With lyrics,
right?
And sound, and when somebody like Sublime take it, you watering it down,
right?
They water it down because them boys ain't talk about social injustice like that, not that like that.
They did, but not from that perspective.
Not from that. They can't.
Yeah,
they can't.
Exactly.
They can't. How can they do it?
Exactly.
So from them, Pepper and all them boys, they definitely not really talking about that. Which is they can't.
Right.
How can they?
Right.
But what the piece of the puzzle I'm talking about is that these people that are listening to these guys, at some point, you got Pandora, you got all these, listen to this person radio, listen to Revolution Radio. At some point, Bob Marley gonna pop up there, Gregory Isaacs might pop up there.
Jimmy Cliff.
Somebody might pop up, then somebody will say, oh, who is that? Oh, I like that. They might like it.
Yeah.
That might get them to go start digging a little deeper.
Right.
So now it draws them back. So even the people who you say, quote unquote, water it down, they're still that funnel that could lead down to the
source.
tank.
Yeah.
To the tank. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. No, for sure. For sure. And that's kind of, to me, that's why a lot of that music is so important, because there is that message. So yeah.
Goddamn right.
So it's a good point. Like, thinking about how it becomes watered down, and then just understanding that people can be filtered through those channels to still get the message at some point, and that's what's most important about it, you know?
Because all those guys too, like Revolution, they're not saying that they just all like you say, Pepper's more like that party. Frat guy
Revolution's
thing.
got
they got some conscious, more loving, more natural, wholesome,
totally
holistic.
Totally, and again, like just some of the struggles that generally everybody faces.
Yeah.
Those bands, or at least more like Revolution and Slightly Stupid, we'll talk about. But then there's like the next level where it's like, you guys grew up in the suburbs, you couldn't possibly understand the suburbs of America. You couldn't possibly understand like the next level. So why would you talk about it then?
So I commend them that they don't really do that.
Yeah, exactly.
I really commend them
because it's honest.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah,
that's dope. As long as they ain't trying to get there, trying to act like they know about it, you know what I'm saying? We gravy. Now, that's what I want to do, because I am that person.
Right.
From, let's say, Jamaica's, they call them quote unquote, I don't use them terms, third world and what have you. But when people want to use it, they say Jamaica third world. So it's a little different. But I'm coming from the same streets and stuff that those guys were talking about what's going on in their hoods. I'm from those same streets. I can talk about what's going on in my hood and in my neighborhood on the side that my friends over here in Switzerland, Fruit Cove, don't really know about.
Right.
Because I ain't ever tell them.
Right. Right.
I didn't want to tell them back then. I thought it wasn't cool,
Right.
But as I look back, as I got older, I appreciate that I had both those sides. And I know the streets.
Right.
Where a lot of people wouldn't think I do. But I do. And so I'll be able to express that through this reggae I'm finna bring out.
100%, man. When are you planning on? Are you recorded, or are you in the process of recording?
I got about. Man, I had to drop a couple songs because I feel like I'm gonna use them for the follow up.
Are you gonna leak them?
I'm gonna leak them mugs. I'm gonna leak them. That's right.
Yeah.
But I had to drop. So I think I got about 2 more to write, and I'll be finished with the album.
Hell yeah.
And about half of them over half is mixed and stuff. So it's real close.
Awesome, man. It's so exciting, right? That process of almost seeing it. It's like almost done.
Almost done.
Yeah.
And I feel like it keep getting further back every time I feel like I'm about to touch it. It goes scooting back a little bit.
I get it, man. Yeah, 100%.
But it's almost there. I'm excited about it. When it comes, please go cop it, man. Tell me what you think about it.
What's the record called?
What's the album gonna be called?
Yeah.
From the Streets to the Beach.
From the Streets to the Beach. I like it. Fuck yeah, man. I'm excited to hear it.
Yeah, me too.
I know that feeling. Awesome, man. Well, I really appreciate you being with us today. This has been a lot of fun.
For sure.
Glad we got to, hang out and get to know each other on a different level,
Yeah.
Hopefully sometime we can jam soon,
Maybe that could be the next time we meet.
There we go. I'm into it. We want to do some unpopular opinions. You can do unpopular opinions.
Guess so.
That's how we finish off every single episode.
Let's do it.
So, all right. My phone at. Here we go. Now that Billy's not here, do you guys want to do an unpopular opinion?
I'm ready this week.
Oh, Chris is ready.
I'm not as ready, so
Yeah.
let me. I thought I feel like I maybe made a note, but we'll see.
All right, what you got, Chris?
All right. I think it was the wrong move for the Red Hot Chili Peppers to kick out Josh Klinghoffer when they brought Frusciante back into the fold this next time around. I've listened to those new records they've put out, and to me, they just don't hit the same. Maybe it's the nostalgia, but I also really like the records they did with Klinghoffer in the band, and I thought that could be like a cool element going forward. But like, everyone's so stoked to have like kind of that super hyped lineup back together, and to me, it was like super lackluster. Like, I'm kind of bummed for Klinghoffer's out of the mix.
It's interesting. I haven't heard their newer stuff.
I haven't either.
I've the last record they put out before Frusciante though. I did hear that was the one that had what was that hit that they had off that record?
It was Purple something. I forget. It was the record that had like the girl walking the bear.
There was one before that, I think, though. I can't remember. We used to do one of those songs.
You're not thinking of the white record with the fly?
Maybe it was that one. I don't remember.
I'm trying to think. I'm terrible with names. Hold on.
The Flower? Not the first record.
No.
Not Love, Sex, and...
No. It's a newer one that they did. When they kicked Frusciante out, and then they released one like probably 5 years ago.
Yeah, hold on. I'm pulling it up.
That's the one.
Is it the one with the Hey Ho on it? I mean, Snow?
That's
Snow.
Stadium Arcadium. That was like 06.
And that was the last Frusciante record that was like it for me, like that double album.
Yeah.
And right after that, when he was out of the band, they put out I'm With You, which I spun that record out and I liked it a lot.
Really?
Yeah, it's a nostalgic record for me for sure. But Anton, maybe the one you're thinking of is The Getaway.
I think so.
And that's the
I listened to that one a lot.
Yeah, and I like both those records with Klinghoffer on them. And then last year they dropped 2 records, Unlimited Love and Return of the Dream Canteen.
Okay.
And to me, neither of those, like, I liked the ones before that, writing wise, better.
I will say that playing with different guitar players brings a different element out of those guys.
Totally. All their vibes of different players shape every record.
Like, was it One Hot Minute with Dave Navarro?
Yeah.
That record was fucking phenomenal. And talk about some, like,
really underrated Chili Peppers record too.
Yeah, I mean, like My Friends and
Airplane was on that one.
Airplane's on that one, and just like didn't realize until I listened to that record that Dave Navarro could really play funk. You know what I mean?
And it was like alt funk, but it was.
But
it wasn't like he wasn't phoning it in. Like it was real for what he played. You know.
Yeah, and I think they do have a history of writing more interesting songs when Frusciante's not in the mix. What I will say is that just like Frusciante is so unapologetically him, and his guitar playing is so unique that I'm always going to be on Frusciante's side.
Well, and that's why I'm cool with bringing him back, but like bring these two monstrously different players
together.
Like, because Klinghoffer's like he's got 300 pedals on stage with him. He's a real big soundscaping guy.
Yeah,
and like Frusciante's just raw energy.
Right.
So like put those two things together, you're gonna get a fucking cool album. I just know it.
Maybe Frusciante.
So, like,
Frusciante's probably got a fucking ego though. I was like, I'm not playing with another guitar player.
And that's got to be what it is, which is why like everyone, like all the 2000 era fans are like, oh, this is the best thing that's ever happened, and I'm kind of just like, would have been cool to see. I don't know. It didn't excite me as much. So
I can feel that.
Yeah.
Are you a big Chili Peppers guy?
I do like Chili Peppers, but I haven't. Their new stuff, I haven't really been up on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check it out now. I just wouldn't put them on my.
It's all worth listening to. To me, it's hard to stack up to those like Californication, By the Way, and Stadium Arcadium were like my big three with Frusciante.
Yeah.
So like maybe it's just nostalgia that I'm kind of hating on the new stuff, but I don't know. It's
Hold on, I'll tell. I got a song, a newer song. I think. Y'all tell me what it. Okay, so what's the? Oh, Return of the. I got the drummer Can't Stop. Can't Stop is By the Way, and then the drummer's off the Return of the whatever that album is.
Return of the Dream Canteen, like the newest one.
That's the newest one?
Yeah.
So I have a song off there that I thought was okay.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah, I think what you say it's not bad. It's just that the other guitar player that they had right before this record, what's his name?
Josh Klinghoffer.
Josh Klinghoffer was just more interesting and different and brought a different element to the band. And Frusciante kind of, is less.
He's just back to like the kind of same old.
Right.
Like
he's not pushing any boundaries.
Yeah, I kind of know what I'm getting. And like there was this kind of like off the rails, like when he was on drugs, like honestly, like it was kind of like this loose cannon, kind of writing some crazy stuff. And I think he's clean now, and it's almost like, let's try to recreate some of that magic and mojo. And it was just kind of this like special time where
Develop a fucking heroin addiction again, John.
I'm
Jesus
saying.
fucking Christ, bro. What are you doing?
Lock me in.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's a good unpopular opinion for sure. You got one over there, Gene?
No. I've been really trying to think of something.
You can't think of anything that you think is unpopular. Everyone's got fucking unpopular opinions.
I'm sure I do. I don't know. Like sitting here, just like under the pressure, I can't think of anything. No.
Right.
Second unpopular opinion: Ice-T should have wiped you out, dude.
Yeah,
dude, that's not even an unpopular opinion. I'm a fan of that opinion. I think it would have made for a better story, but.
You got any unpopular opinions?
You go first.
You want me to go first? All right. Here's one that I just heard the other day that I've been waiting to say for a while, though, is boiled peanuts suck.
Oh, dude, I agree.
I'm actually with
boiled
you on
peanuts
this one.
fuck.
Yeah.
I just think they're weird. They're slimy.
They're like fucking beans that taste like peanut butter. It's actually gross.
What about Cajun peanut butter then? So if you got the Cajun peanuts,
yeah.
It's it's not the peanuts that bother me. It's the boiled version of them.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so I can do like Cajun peanuts.
No, Cajun boiled peanuts.
No, it all can go to hell. All of it can go to hell. Because here's the thing: is that I don't like the texture of beans, and I know that I'm Cuban and I should love beans theoretically, but I don't like how they just mush in your mouth.
They can be kind of chalky sometimes too. Like,
I feel you. I'm not gonna go get them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I will. I don't think they're nasty. But I wouldn't go get them.
We had a whole thing when we were on the way back from Dunedin, the last gig that we played out there with Side Hustle, and fucking who was it? It was Steve, Honig was on this trip about like needing to get boiled peanuts, and I don't think Billy ever had them before, which is surprising. And then Aaron was all into the boiled peanuts, so we stopped at like 2 different places on the side of the road, you know, like out fucking on the west side, like not even west side yet. We weren't even back from we were somewhere in between like Tampa and here on one of those back roads, and you start seeing like boiled peanut signs. So we stopped at like 2 different places and got them. And I didn't fucking eat them. Billy tried them for the first time, and he liked them, of course. And Steve and Aaron are obsessed with them. And this is a real debate. People love boiled peanuts. I didn't realize.
A lot of people like really love them.
I think they are an abomination to food. It is disgusting. So I'm really glad that you guys feel the same way because there's no conversation.
I can respect that they're like a staple of backwoods just backwoods roadside culture. Without that, what would dot the interstates between the cities of America?
Oh, fucking honey
yeah.
or like fucking flowers or like fucking
fruit,
alligators.
vegetables,
Look, man, it's all part of
Anything.
it's got to be there.
Boiled peanuts.
Yeah, I kind of grew up being around them, but yeah, but
They don't hit you in any kind of way.
say it again.
They don't hit you any kind of way.
Nah, I just don't. You got to get that. There's certain. I've had enough of them to know that they are different. So it's depending on where you get them from. Some can be slimy, but some can be if they're boiled right to perfection, they're not slimy.
Okay, maybe I gotta try some more boiled peanuts. I won't, but maybe.
You're not going to.
All right, on the peanut train. What about peanuts and Coke?
Peanuts and Coke.
In Coke.
Y'all don't know what?
How do you grind the peanut fine enough?
No.
You just put the full peanut in there.
Yeah, that's like a southern thing. Like
Never mind.
To me, boiled peanuts and like peanuts and Coke are like equally as southern.
I didn't grow up in the South, so I don't know, man.
That's right. You grew up in New York, just South New York.
Yeah.
I don't think the peanut's gonna fit my nose.
Wow.
I tried to make that joke earlier and it didn't sail, and I had to come up with a different way to.
Hell no.
Tell me you do. Tell me you do drugs without telling me you do drugs.
Right.
There you
go,
the shell
right.
off before I stick it in my nose.
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna.
Nice, Gene. Real good.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of Southern traditions that I don't understand, and peanuts, the boiled peanuts thing, are one of them. And I've never even fucking heard of peanuts and Coke. Are you familiar with this?
Peanuts and Coke, nah.
Oh my God! Chris has an image of it.
Yeah, I mean, like it's just a.
It's bad.
It's just a real thing.
Yeah, that's.
Wait a minute,
that's
you
not
eat it?
Good.
No, you drink it.
You do.
A more hands.
like boba.
Hold on. A more hands-on. Washing. Wait, I can't even fucking read. Simply pouring peanuts in your Coke bottle allow for a protein boost that you could sip while working.
Oh my!
Since then, the sweety salt pairing of sugary Coke and savory peanuts has spread across the South from the Carolinas to Texas.
That sentence
Drink
read like
a fucking protein shake.
Yeah, I felt like
What the fuck?
That read like a life hack. Like, do you need some extra protein in your life? Just drop some peanuts in your
Yeah,
Coke.
because if you're drinking Coke every day, the biggest problem you have is fucking protein. The fuck out of here, bro.
I mean, this is definitely like a construction workers of the South thing.
Oh
so,
my
like,
God.
they pick up 6 of these a day.
this is insane.
disgusting.
I'm just kind of.
I'm not on board with this. I will say that people up north have weird traditions too that I've heard about, like the fucking salt in PBR, which is a Baltimore
Whoa,
thing.
what?
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
It's a Baltimore
That
thing.
sounds-
You
yeah,
put
no,
you
thank
salt
you.
your beer. It's disgusting.
That's pretty
I don't know.
nasty.
Anyways, that's my unpopular opinion. Boiled peanuts can go right to fucking hell. What you got, Solo?
Opinion.
I know you got one.
Okay. Let's see.
If you need more time, I thought of something.
Yeah, go ahead.
What
you got,
if need
Because
more
you've been
time.
going.
This is we'll see. I feel like it might have some traction with this group. I think chicken wings are so overrated. Like I think
I
they're
agree.
incredibly overrated. Like
I agree
Like
with
I
that.
think they're okay. Like I'll
Being
eat them. It's not
overkill.
like I hate them. But like I guess it's just the people I've been around recently. They're like obsessed with chicken wings. Like we'll be going out to lunch at work, and they're just. I'm like it's like half of the time at least. It's just like let's go get like wings, and I'm like I just don't know. Like I don't like wings. Like,
I
don't
agree
know
with
what it
you.
is.
I will like 90% of the time not order them if I'm out and about. However, if someone does order them for the table, I'll have like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
They have to be flappers though. I don't do fucking drumsticks. That's just whack.
What? Okay, now that's an unpopular opinion there. When it comes to chicken wings, I don't really care for them, but I mean, like, I think it's definitely drumsticks over flash. I think you're fucking crazy.
Well, I'll say the caveat on this one is I think everyone's got their wing place though. Like,
I don't have a wing
Really?
place. I don't care about them like that.
well, I mean, like you got, I don't know, like
Where's your wing spot, Chris? Where's your wing spot?
East Coast Wings up in North Carolina.
Okay.
Is
Yeah,
like
we're
the
going
only
far
spot
away.
that like I would get excited to go get wings for, but everything else, yeah, I agree. It's
I
kind
don't
of
like
like I'm probably not ordering them otherwise.
You don't like wings either, really?
I'm totally out of the question. Yeah.
You're just like no, not at all.
I'm I don't eat meat.
Oh, you don't eat meat at all?
Oh yeah, so yeah, that's just even
There
a
you
different
go.
category.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just they're too messy. I've got to wash my hands twice, like once before, and then I eat them, and then I don't want to do that. That's
You wash your hands before you eat?
I like to think I do.
That's
like,
fucking wild also.
well,
I don't do that shit.
I do a lot of work where my hands get incredibly dirty.
That's true. I
So
forgot
sometimes
about
when I
that.
sit down at a meal, I just go, "Oh my god!" Like I have to. Like it's disgusting.
Yeah,
it's
I
like oil and it's gross.
I forgot about that. Yeah, you got to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, it
Some
sucks.
people work for a living. It's
Yeah, some of those things.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. It's been a long time. All right, SouLo, what you got, bro?
I got it.
Please don't let it be food related, I swear to God.
No, won't be food related.
Yeah, I hate chili peppers.
Good one.
This is the only reason I wanted a mic is just for just little quips. That's it.
That's funny. Social media. So Facebook is becoming more like MySpace out of the social media race. What do you feel about that? I feel like Facebook is the least popular these days. I feel like
For the younger generation, yes. If you're above 35, it's probably the platform that you use the most. Generally speaking, not obviously. It also depends on where you live and stuff.
Yeah, do you have your analytics handy?
Yeah, I mean, I've done the research on this because I'm very, I try to be on top of like what, how the platforms work and all that stuff. And it is like, if you're over the age of 35, again, we have to talk about like, we're not talking about major cities like New York or LA or Chicago, Miami. We're talking about like smaller, like most of the country is, like smaller cities, smaller towns. And a lot of those people are over a certain age and they're still utilizing Facebook. I would say that most people are still using Facebook here in Jacksonville too, as opposed to Instagram and TikTok, which it's hard as an artist to try and build your base locally when a lot of the people are still utilizing platforms like Facebook, because it's not the greatest way to interact with people, I don't think, because it's a closed network. It's like a virtual high school yearbook, right?
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So, but that was the one I was trying to put into one. I have not. SpaceX. I heard. What do y'all think about Elon Musk?
No, this is your unpopular opinion. What do you think of Elon Musk?
I like Elon Musk. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
I'm
I
an Elon
agree.
Musk fan.
I think he's a net positive for the world.
I agree. He does some goofy things.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm on the fence. I'm in more of a negative direction than you guys.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you think?
I have mixed feelings about it. Like, I think, I was a big fan of him much earlier on. But I think a lot, a lot of the stuff that he's done recently with Twitter has just been absolutely silly and childish.
Like
It
what?
makes me- I've seen a couple different things of just there's I can't remember.
Yeah, I
one.
haven't seen
Like
it.
when he brought the
I
kitchen
heard
sink into the Twitter office.
Oh, I didn't even see about that.
And he literally
Yeah.
carried a kitchen sink into.
I saw something where it's like he was like, there was a couple things where I guess he was, I can't remember what it was. It was essentially like I saw a video that someone was outlining a bunch of this whole little series where he had like, I guess, banned some people, and then there was a space to talk about all these things that were happening, and then he joined the space, essentially got run out of it because either and I would listen to some of it, just the things he was saying was just like he had no idea what he was talking about. And then once he got out of it, he then changed a bunch of things in Twitter so that that space wasn't even accessible anymore. Just a lot of very immature things where he's like, well, now I'm just gonna go into Twitter because I own it and I'm gonna do this.
I see.
A lot of things like that. So I have mixed feelings about him. I in the beginning it was really cool because he was a guy with big ideas and he had the ability to kind of point a lot of resources at these ideas that nobody else would point resources at. But now that he has just an incredible amount of resources and he's just it's just it's very, I don't know, I feel like either his demeanor's changing or maybe this is just how he's been the whole time and this is just kind of how we're seeing it. Now we're just seeing it. So
see, that's why I call him goofy though, because that's just compared to some of the things he does, what he brought internet to Ukraine. What was the the thing? Yeah, he brought. I mean, between that, making hyperloops, rockets.
Well,
Tesla's
rockets.
That's what I was about to get to too. What's your take on the electric cars?
And, I think all that stuff is super helpful for our generations. So
I'm for the electric cars.
I think so. I have individual opinions about all those things that have nothing really to do with Elon Musk. I think I love space travel. I think that's excellent. Everything about space travel, a lot of technological innovations have come directly from space travel in the past. I think that's fantastic. The electric cars, I think, are really cool. I'm more interested in the autonomous driving. I don't think electric cars are a solution for our energy problem. I think it's maybe a piece in the portion to get us there. But there's a lot of other different things with that. And then the Hyperloop, I think is kind of it's cool. It was a cool concept, but it just seems kind of like a publicity stunt. Even that little traffic car loop that they did, in Vegas. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's 100% practical yet. So I mean, they were all really cool ideas, and maybe they'll get implemented in a cooler way later. But a lot of them are just neat. The only thing I think is that has any real weight to it is SpaceX. And Tesla does too. I think there's some weight to that. But
for sure.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was basically, to sum it up, not really just on his personal behavior, but just what he's been forward or been pushing and kind of supporting on the whole SpaceX and his, the whole Tesla thing and all that.
What SpaceX is doing is incredible. I think, the reusable rocket technology is, it's amazing. But we also can't give that entirely to Elon Musk. There's a lot of other people that design things as well.
Right, but he has the resources to
let those people do, pay those people to do their job.
Oh yeah, right. For sure.
And I think that it's also important that there is a private sector that has access to the information of space, right? When the government has a monopoly on a science or something, I just, to me, that's troublesome. So I think it's good that we have, a private sector that's involved in that capacity. As far as the electric side, I don't know a ton about how the technology of the electric cars work. As I understand it, it's not totally independent of gas and oil.
It just depends on where the electricity was generated and how they generated it. If you charge an electric car here in Jacksonville, it's most likely technically being fueled by natural gas.
Right.
They're burning up at the power plant.
Exactly, and that's kind of, I don't think they've figured out a way to kind of become independently, reliant on itself yet. So I don't know about that yet. But I mean, as far as the SpaceX stuff, I think that it's important that we have, a private sector exploring the same realms that the government's exploring, just to keep the government in check, if nothing else. And also, I heard that there's this thing with Bill Maher that he was talking about, and he was like, "We want this guy on our side." It's crazy that people are trying to shoot him down. And
right now, it seems like it.
Because the idea of an evil genius could be real, right? You're a Dr. Evil type character.
He's already made flamethrowers,
right,
for fun, and
has already infiltrated space. So it's and he has all the resources in the world, and he's obviously intelligent enough to.
He's a real life Bond villain.
Could be exactly
only person with a launch pad on his damn lawn, dog.
Exactly.
So you know what I'm saying? Like
that's
I look up to the dude, bro.
That's change out the payload, and things get a lot different.
That's what Bill Maher was saying. He's literally a real life Bond villain. If we make him that, or we can be like, yeah, let's fucking figure out how you can do good for society and not try and shun you from it because of whatever your background is or whatever, however you grew up or whatever people are thinking. Like the Twitter thing, that's a $40 billion acquisition. To pretend like anybody has any clue on how to handle that scenario appropriately,
I know that's right,
is like fucking insane. So I have no judgment on that.
Exactly.
Okay, but like.
But I also think, there's a difference, like, sure, like Elon has run a lot of big companies and he does a lot of stuff with tech. But for anybody to think that they can just, acquire a $40 billion company and step in and run it the way that he wants to try and run it, I also think that is ridiculously, like foolish. Like, don't get me wrong, he has a lot of credit and accreditation. But I mean, to just kind of try to step into Twitter and feel like you're going to be able to do everything immediately better, like, I think is super fucking, that's really, I don't know, to me that seems arrogant.
No, you're probably right about that. There was probably, he probably got a little confident in that scenario. There's just, I still can't really fully judge it because it's like, I don't know what that looks like, So, yeah, ultimately, I think that not only can he be a net positive for civilization, I think that it's in our best interest to make him feel like he can be a net positive.
I know he can get a hold of a lot more than we can.
Exactly, because if we try and shun him from society, and make him out to be this evil character, it can turn in that direction.
Real quick.
I could totally see. I'm not saying this is the case, but I could totally see something coming out like later, like give it another 5 years, and something actually happens where we find out that something becomes uncovered, and he is like, it wouldn't surprise me, like if we found out like he had like slaves or something. I don't know, just like I don't know, like just like like child labor, like there's a lot of that, but
there's already out there because his family.
He's murdering.
It's already out there. Look at that.
Like,
it's already out there, bro.
Because his family is like South African, and they're
for real. Oh, for real. Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, he's South African as shit. That's where all of his money comes from.
For real.
Yeah,
and the mines out there
originally, before PayPal.
See, I ain't know all that shit.
He's got
South African.
His family comes from some sketchy backgrounds. Whether or not he is still profiting or implementing any of that stuff is yeah.
See, I ain't know now. Anything. There's some shady shit from South Africa. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that. But like I said, I was looking solely on his accomplishment, not how he got it or where he got it from. I was just like the things he's been doing. You know what I'm saying? The thing, you know what I'm saying? Because he brought that stuff to my attention and like, oh shit, he brought back the Tesla. You know what I'm saying? Brought out Tesla because I'm a Tesla fan. The man, himself.
Oh yeah, totally.
You know what I'm saying? So I just like the fact that before all this, I was, you know what I'm saying? I was
Team Milan.
I was Team Milan. Yeah, I like what he was doing, but shit, I have to go a little deeper.
And you also have to be careful about people that are in positions of power like him that are trying to own entire arms of media, right? Like Twitter is an arm of the media.
Yeah, right.
And so what he's effectively doing by buying Twitter out is not only giving his people a platform, but he's also giving himself total control of a narrative on one of the most influential platforms in the world.
Yeah.
Right. So any information that gets leaked through that or whatever, he's controlling. He's already kind of proven to show that if he doesn't like what's happening, he'll ban it. Like all those, AI things with him talking, like saying wild shit.
Yeah.
Where he was like, you can't do that anymore. That's not me saying that. I'm banning that.
Yep.
Right. So we have to be cautious about that as well. That being said, that doesn't prove that he's being nefarious in his activities. I just think that it's something to be cautious of. He can either be a net positive or a negative for society as I view it. And I think it's in our best interest to support the initiative and try and make him a net positive, because ultimately it depends on does depend on our perspective at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
I got one more point that we hadn't touched on about him that I think is just kind of interesting.
What's that?
Like thoughts about him doing the whole Nick Cannon thing.
I don't even know what that is.
So like having, as of right now, Elon Musk already has 10 kids. Like,
he's trying to freeze. Yeah. He thinks that he's not of the mindset that overpopulation is a problem. In fact, he believes that we need to like populate more. And there's an argument to be made from that about that, depending on where you're at geographically, right?
No, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because they're already talking about Russia and China not having enough of the next generation to sustain the technology and the infrastructure that those countries have already. So like, they're saying that literally within 1 or 2 generations, like these countries could be totally eradicated because they're not reproducing.
But yeah, it's like a 0 birth rate, not only there, in other places too.
Yeah, across the board, globally, we're at the birth rate has gone down 50% across the board. On that note, SouLo, it's been so much fun, man. Thank you for being with us today.
Yeah.
This has been Bottom of the Bill, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.
Whoop, whoop.